Hi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm filling in for Bob Kahn, Austin Energy General Manager. For those of you that know Bob Kahn, you can let the rest of the people know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that somebody's filling in for him. But good morning. I'm Stuart Reilly, Austin Energy Deputy General Manager. And I'd just like to welcome you to Austin. I hope you all are having a great time so far here in Austin. For those of you from out of town, we have 2 seasons in Austin, summer and not summer, and this very much qualifies as not summer, even though it'll be probably about 90 degrees tomorrow. So you're here just in time. But if you're a real friend, you'll come visit us in August. That's when real friends come visit. But you also probably know Austin as the live music capital of the world, but we also have another unofficial motto: keep Austin weird. And keeping Austin weird is about being unique, cultivating a vibe that's unlike anywhere else, and it's also about supporting our local businesses. In a couple minutes, I have to run over to a city council meeting to go over the city's financial forecast, so I feel like my employer obligates me to ask you to please spend a lot of money while you're here. Tacos, just lots of them. Just eat a lot of them. Texas barbecue, regrets, okay? Just go all in. Lots of live music, lots of drinks. If you do enough of that, shopping at South Congress, we'll throw in, you can free of charge, you can go see the largest urban bat colony in North America under the Congress Bridge. But keeping it weird is also about leading with our values and walking the walk. That's why Austin Energy and the Energy Thought Summit are a perfect pairing. Vehicle electrification, distributed energy resources, decarbonization, equity, technology, and grid resilience. This conference agenda is a greatest hits of the challenges and opportunities we face in our industry, and the opportunity that we have to do so much good for our planet and for our customers. Austinites often still think of ourselves as this small little weird college town that it was when many of us moved here, but we recently became the 10th largest city in the country. And we double about every 25 years. And so with that enormous population growth, more businesses, more residents, more customers for Austin Energy, but we haven't seen nearly the amount of load growth that you would expect with that amount of population growth. And I think that's a testament to the really robust and really accessible energy efficiency, solar, demand response programs, our green building programs, our highly efficient energy building codes that we have here in Austin. All of that has helped to really flatten the amount of what would otherwise be exponential load growth here in Austin. But with all that new development, we have an enormous responsibility to serve all these customers and do it affordably. In Austin, our residents' electricity burden is about 1.3% of their incomes. That compares to about 2.5% or more for the rest of the state and the rest of the nation in terms of electricity burden for residents. And for us, it's about providing the most community benefit that we possibly can. And a lot of the times that means getting really good, getting better at selling less of what we sell. Last year, we also made enhancements to protect our most vulnerable customers in our community. We increased the amount of enrollees in our already nationally recognized customer assistance program by 75%. And the way that we think about this often is we've got to get better at doing the things that maybe we already did better before. What worked before isn't still going to keep working for us. And we can't keep doing things the same way that they've always worked before. We strive to be customer-driven and community-focused at Austin Energy. That's kind of our tagline, customer-driven and community-focused, but we take it seriously. We support economic growth and contribute to everyone's quality of life here in Austin. I often think of an electric utility as the engine that powers everything that goes on in a community. It's the critical infrastructure that powers all other critical infrastructure, the essential workers that enable all other essential work. It's community service at its best. And in Austin, our community is very engaged, particularly around environmental sustainability. And we strive to reflect that community, be a reflection of those values as well. And we currently have the most diverse energy generation portfolio in the state. And we have a goal of 100% carbon-free generation by 2035. Our community expects us to be a leader in the energy transition to clean power, and we are a leader. Last year, we served our customers with 70% carbon-free, and you can compare that to the rest of ERCOT average at 41% carbon-free and the nation at 40% carbon-free. So the ETS, the Energy Thought Summit theme of Imagine, encourages us to reflect on our past achievements and look forward to the opportunities ahead. And this got me thinking about Austin Energy's renewable energy journey so far. And so I went back and looked at some of the past goals that we had and thought about how, when we're all aligned and meeting an outcome, how well we can do. So in 2003, we set out our first renewable energy goal. In 2003, we said 20% renewable production by 2020. It doesn't sound all that impressive anymore, but in 2003, it sounded like a lot. Then, when I started the city back in 2007, our first Austin Climate Protection Plan came out, and it set a new 2020 goal at 30% carbon-free. And again, that seemed like a lot. 3 years later, we set a new 2020, still 2020, and that went up again to 35%. And each iteration from there, we've continued to go up. And each iteration, we've exceeded the goals that we've set out to accomplish, and we had to keep raising the bar. So now our focus is on what technologies are going to get us from 70% to 100% carbon-free. And in the process, how do we do that while keeping service reliable and affordable? Our 2035 goal is ambitious, but all of us in this room play a role in getting us there. Because necessity is the mother of invention, and I don't think there's anything more necessary than fighting a climate emergency. And we can also never underestimate the pace of change. What's going to be that new, is there going to be a breakthrough technology that changes everything? What role is long-duration storage? What about green fuels such as hydrogen? Or is it still going to be about the right combination of all the right tools, including more transmission and demand response? So with our community here in Austin right now, we're having that conversation. We're in the process of updating our resource generation and climate protection plan to figure out with our community what that right mix is going to be going forward to 2035. But that goes beyond generation. So we're also imagining a whole new world for our industry, and we need to be ready and actively pushing the boundaries of what's possible while still remaining affordable. Everything from managing distributed energy resources in a more dynamic fashion to supporting the electrification of the transportation sector. The Austin Energy Service Territory now has 50,000 EVs, and of our new vehicle registrations in the Austin area, 12% of all new vehicle registrations are EVs. And we also have over 1,500 public charging stations. And so part of this, in this whole new energy transition, one thing that I heard recently, I researched to make sure that I was citing the right facts here because it was shocking. It's projected in this energy transition that we're just embarking on now that we will need more copper in the next 25 years than has been consumed in total since 1900. So that's just an example of all of the change that's coming. And as electrification of various sectors grows, our responsibility grows as well. We often talk about staying reliable. We have great reliability numbers. But when more of the economy is electric, more responsibility is on us to get even more affordable, more reliable, more sustainable. It's just more burden, all these things converging on us all at once, and we're taking on more of the burden for our economy. And so as a result, our distribution resilience program at Austin Energy aims to improve service restoration, minimize impacts from outages, and we're doing this through enhanced asset management, maintenance, upgrades, and technology enhancements across the distribution system. From a comprehensive circuit review to installation of smart grid devices, enhanced protection devices, and grid hardening devices across our territory. So we have to be committed and maintain this excellent customer service, especially as our customers' expectations are changing. We often say at Austin Energy, customers don't compare us to other electric utilities. Many of them have had one electric provider for years and years and years. They compare us to other services in their lives. Amazon, food delivery services, things like that. So when we talk about that customer experience that we need to deliver, oftentimes customers are comparing a digital service that they have to our sometimes much more complicated physical operations, and we have to provide the same kind of experience. And so our smart meters, online outage map, and text message alerts are helping us improve that communication. Sometimes we'll shorthand talk about this when we're talking about how we're doing at that. We say, how's the pizza tracker? How we doing on a pizza tracker? Because customers expect that same experience. Where's the truck? What did they find? How long is it going to take? That kind of communication, and we've been through, unfortunately, some pretty bad severe weather events here in Austin, and by necessity, we're having to get much better at that. And so speaking of that, though, climate change is making severe weather more frequent and more extreme, and that means more restoration events. So we've increased the capacity of our outage map to far exceed the amount that we needed during the 2023 ice storm we had here in Austin, the largest ice storm in our history here in Austin. We also have expanded our emergency management team to better handle all hazards. And recently, we started installing AI-assisted wildfire detection cameras on pole tops to get a full view across all of our service territory. And we are not done with this effort, but recently these AI wildfire detection cameras triangulated on their first fire and notified our energy control center and the fire department on this, and it turned out to be a fire at a salvage yard here in Austin. And so now where we once maybe were fighting climate change or doing what we could from a resource standpoint to be good environmental stewards, now we're also responding to the impacts of climate change as well. And all of these things are converging on us. I think our industry is uniquely positioned. There's so many things coming down on us right now, and we have an immense responsibility to address all of this in a way that protects our communities. So I've mentioned, wrapping up, I mentioned a lot of things that we at Austin Energy are working to do better, but we still have a long way to go. It's all about continuous improvement, customer expectations, technology, electrification, cybersecurity, AI, climate change. All of this is demanding us to imagine more. When finding solutions, it's not a question of one thing or another. I think everything has trade-offs, and we're not going to find a silver bullet. It's about using all of the best tools and combining all of those best tools in the toolkit. And it's why events like the Energy Thought Summit are so important. And I think the challenges and the positioning of each of our communities and each of our organizations are often just different enough to where we feel like we have to be solving these things by ourselves. When I think we're all seeing, in general, the same really big challenges, and having these kinds of conversations is just a really good reminder that we can learn from each other, that we're not all solving these things on our own, and events like this can help us pull together these technical solutions. I think if we can imagine things, if we can lead with our values, then we can kind of pull the engineering along behind that and get to a cleaner, brighter, more sustainable energy future. And that's all I've got to say. I really do hope you all enjoy your time here in Austin, and thank you for allowing me to fill in and step in for Bob Kahn, and I appreciate it. And Jason, I don't know how we are on time. We're good? 3 minutes. Okay. Any questions or comments? Yes. That's a great question. Copper and lithium. So I think that's a great question. You may want to maybe Donald Trump can sell you some copper futures or something like that. You can invest in some coins. No, I don't know. I think that's a great question. I think a lot of these materials, I think we're going to have to get better at thinking of how to efficiently use these types of materials and also using other types of conductor, I think, as well. I think, like I said, necessity is the mother of invention. I think we're going to have to figure out a lot of different ways of doing a lot of the things that we've been doing for a long time. Anything else? Yes? Oh, workforce. Yeah, that's a great question. Something that I didn't mention. I think, in terms of workforce needs, let me take that question in kind of a different direction. I think we all know that in the electric industry we have a lot of expertise that's retiring, but I've been in this industry for 17 years. We've kind of been talking about that whole 17 years. There's about to be this silver tsunami, right? And all the expertise is about to be gone, and what are we going to do? That hasn't materialized yet, but I think we still need to get better and better. We still don't have, at Austin Energy, for example, we have basically nobody under 25. We need to get better at going out and finding people, using our values, using our mission. I think work has to be meaningful, and I think in the energy sector there is so much meaning, especially right now with all the challenges that we have. If we sell new workers on the meaning that they can provide for our community, I think that's going to be the thing that pulls them in and keeps them engaged. But in terms of one sector or another, it's hard to find people who know energy market operations in ERCOT if I had to pick one thing. But I think the most important thing for us is to really lead with our values, because I think younger workers are more keyed into that and feeling like what they're doing is really meaningful, valuable, and important. Good question. Anything else? Well, thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great day and a great time in Austin. Thanks.